Daniel, we're delighted that you came all the way today, especially for this event. So Daniel's come all the way. And he's a Lego Play expert. He'll tell you a little bit about Lego Play, but it's a very specific thing that Lego developed and a really amazing tool that I've seen working before. Since 2011, he's been CEO of Osterwalder and Stadler in Bern, working as a facilitator, a design thinker, and Lego Serious Play facilitator and trainer in large-scale change and innovation. So Lego Serious Play is one of the many things that he does, and he does a lot of other things like design thinking, storytelling, World Cafe, and business model canvas. But today we're going to talk about Lego Serious Play and difficult people. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you very much, Pam. I'm happy to be here and happy that you invited me to present here and to talk a little bit about Lego Serious Play and about the way of facilitation, the way how we facilitate with Lego into different several change processes. I brought today two different types of Lego. Lego Serious Play. This is the window bag we use in the afternoon after lunch. We'll put it away. Those who will stay, they will get one of that and we'll work with that. What I also have with me is when I go to a client first time to talk, the first talk, and to introduce myself, I always have these Legos with me, because once we find a moment that they realize, okay, we could talk about it and we could do something. Then I say, this is one version to build a duck, but there are a lot other ways and possibilities to build a duck. Therefore, I give it to you. And during the time I present a talk with you, you can give it around and try several different other ways to get familiar, to play and to work with Lego. Because Lego Serious Play is not only to build something what is existing or is concrete. Lego Serious Play is to build the unconcrete, is to build the invisible, is to build the intangible. And this is very, very important to understand that. Because it's not, Lego Serious Play is not to build machines or buildings or cars or a group of people and so on. Lego Serious Play is to find and to build a concrete 3D model of things what are not physically concrete. This is the one part. The second part is that you tell stories about, that you start to find metaphors and to build with these metaphors stories about what you think, what is your own model about, for example, trust, what is your own model of, for example, of a difficult behavior, and so on and so forth. That's very important to realize it. And we have three main topics in Lego Serious Play, and the first is on this philosophy of Lego Serious Play is to lean in. Kim before told us that sometimes you realize that people lean back or lean out of a group because they get tired or they get dull or whatever of what is happening. And Lego Serious Play helps us to lean into the process. This is the first point. The second is that we want to lead to unlock new knowledge of a group, of an enterprise. Therefore, we use Lego Serious Play. And the third one is to break habitual thinkings. That means we very often think in one way. We know from neuroscience that we train our brain to think a little bit just on one or two or three ways and not to think wide. And Lego Serious Play helps us to break this habitual thinking, these ways of habitual thinkings. And what is very important, I just need it. Can I have? Yeah, just a second. Pardon me. Oops. Well, when you have 8 of these bricks, 4 to the 2 studs, what do you think? How many possibilities do you have to build something? What do you think? 8 of them. 8 of them. Yeah. How many combinations do you get? What do you think?
Oh, hundreds.
Okay, hundreds. Yeah. Pardon? Thousands, yeah. Others? You get 915 millions of possibilities, 915 millions of possible combinations of these 8 of 8 bricks of 4 to 2 studs. And this helps you, when you work with Lego Serious Play, it means that you have a really big, a huge amount of variety to get stories, to develop stories, and to develop models what you will work. Because this is very important, to clarify before the mandate of a project. And when we clarify, we always clarify purpose, we clarify what we are working on, we clarify rules and roles, and then we start. How to use this Lego. And we always start with a tower. They get some orange, some green bricks, different bricks, and they have the goal to build in 2-3 minutes a tower. And then this is the first thing that they are used to build. And this tower can be everything what they want. And it's always fascinating how different people build towers with about 12 or 14 different bricks. It's really interesting. And then they they present themselves in a small group, they present themselves with the help of the tower. And with this way, they learn how to use metaphors and how to, what will it mean to tell stories. The second is that you develop. You have good questions. You have questions which you prepare with your client, and then you let the people tell the stories about their models. And finally, when they had developed their own models, they also start to develop models together. And then they put, for example, things together, they talk about this model, and they always stay and show what does it mean. And like that, they define as a group their model of whatever they discuss. This can be trust, this can be leadership, this can be difficult behavior, this can be everything what you tried to solve with the help of Lego Serious Play. Thank you very much. Questions? Yeah, Pam?
So, Daniel, thank you. Are there certain types of idea or thought that do better in this projective, I think it's a projective technique. I mean, you talked about explaining behaviors or explaining the way people work together. Can you also do it in different kinds of things, like for products? And
what is very important that the questions you start with, that these are not closed questions, that these are not solved problems, that they are wicked questions. That means that you really want to solve
Wicked
something.
questions.
Wicked questions. And in design thinking, we also use this terminus technicus, wicked questions, yeah. And this is important to get a good feeling for wicked questions. And wicked questions is not too big, and it's not so small. When it is too small, it's getting boring. And when it's too big, it's useless what you do. Because at the end you won't do anything. Because after a Lego Serious Play session, a workshop of 1 day, of 6 or 8 hours, with about, for example, 24 people, you will have plans. You will have plans what you change. You will have plans how you get into the process in your enterprise, what you really will do. You have maybe projects or teams. And when the question is too large or too big, you won't get there. This is really important to get to develop also with your client or with a pilot team. I often work with a pilot team of 4 or 5 people, which should be how to say, a good mixture of the people that will come in, and to test my questions and to test also the procedures that they know also before a little bit how it works. And when these people, when we work with a little pilot team, it helps the whole process because they will tell about, well, it was great, it was funny, we laughed and we got into.
Daniel, thank you so much for your
Welcome.
time. Really great.